Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. I just have a few things to go over this week, and then it's going to be mostly about project 3 from here on out and your final. So just as a reminder, I have my office hours on Monday from 9 to 11 a.m. Just means that I'll be on my computer answering any emails, or if you want to schedule a Zoom call, anything like that, I will be on. All right, so last week, you turned in project 2. I am in the middle of grading those. They should be up either late this week or early next week. You should have filled out your project 2 evaluation, and you should have watched the project 3 introduction video by now. If you haven't, please do that. Please also read the assignment instructions very closely. There's a lot in there, and there's a lot of things that you need to include in this project. So this week, make sure that you begin project 3. You need to do your week 14 meeting agenda and submit that by Friday. And then your management online quizzes are due by Sunday night as usual. Nothing too exciting there. This week, I would suggest getting with your team and coming up with a timeline so that you guys can get your projects done on time, and that you don't get off track with all this Zoom stuff. So for project 3, just a reminder, due December 11th, or sorry, I didn't update that. It is due in May, and I am not reviewing your drafts anymore. So just a reminder that you guys are going to need to do all of that yourself. So as a review checklist, I'm going to send you guys a little bit later on in the semester. I'll send you a big document that has kind of a review checklist that you can go through your own paper. And kind of pretend that you're the TA and maybe grade each other, and make sure that you have everything you need. So here are just some of the things that you need to remember. Make sure that you have the correct business letter template. Do you have strong topic state sentences? Have you answered every part of the question in the assignment? That's a big one for this project. Do you have a course concept in every section? The course concepts in this one are not hand-fed to you like they were on project 2. You need to find your own that makes sense. And you need to make sure your answers are logical and consistent. You need all of your outside sources, and they need to actually provide supporting evidence. And you need to make sure that you get your rubric, and I'm guessing we're going to be submitting it the same way we did last time through Icon. Big piece for this one, and I noticed it was a little bit of a problem on project 2 as well. Please read the assignment instructions. There's a lot of information in there, I know, but a lot of people are missing things that are in the assignment instructions. So I would not only just read them once at the beginning of the project, read it throughout while you're drafting your questions or your answers, so that you're not missing pieces and missing points because of that. All right, so let's go over course concepts and evidence a little bit more. I know I've kind of done this a little bit in the past, but let's just hammer it home. I noticed a lot of people were missing pieces of these on project 2, and I want to make sure that you aren't missing pieces of these for project 3, because really it's just a template. If you follow these steps, then you will be just fine. So every single section needs to have at least one course concept, and when you do have a course concept, that should raise a little flag that you need your define, explain, apply. You need 3 different sentences for each one of those. So your example here is, in order to get a large pool of applicants, our team will focus on external recruiting. This type of recruiting focuses on developing a pool of applicants from outside the company. There's my definition. This type of recruiting is important for companies who don't necessarily have strong candidates within their company from which to hire. There is my explanation. I'm adding some depth and some understanding to the definition that I just gave. In our case, because we don't have any other Waffle Houses in the region, there aren't any employees who we would be able to recruit for our stores. This is why it will be more beneficial for us to focus our efforts externally. So that's my application. I'm taking the information that I just told my reader, and I'm applying it to my own situation. This can feel kind of robotic. It feels kind of weird to some people to give the definition and then basically explain the definition in more basic terms or slightly differently. It may feel that way, but that's how you're going to get your points. I would think of the definition as, here is the bland definition. The explanation is adding something a little bit extra. Maybe it's specifying it to Maybe external recruiting is really important for restaurants because it's hard to get people to move for a job or something like that. So make sure that you have all of those steps and you're not missing points there. So evidence, kind of the same situation. You need at least 4 pieces of evidence. You already know this, but there were a lot of projects that were missing evidence. So I want to make sure that you guys get it for this project and you're not missing those points. So each piece of evidence needs to be introduced, explained, applied. So according to John Smith's research in the Journal of Business Management, there's my introduction. Now I'm going to give the actual evidence. Structured interviews produce the most consistent quality hires because all candidates are being assessed equally. Smith 2017, there's my little citation. Make sure that you always have your citations. This means that if a business wants to make sure they are hiring the right employees, they should conduct structured interviews because then no one is being hired based on biased or inconsistent questions. So there's my explanation. I'm not just saying the same thing that the evidence just said in slightly different words. I'm trying to add something new to the evidence that's still general and that's helping my reader understand what they're supposed to get out of the evidence. And then I apply it to myself. We want to make sure we hire the first time, so we have prepared a number of structured interview questions we believe will help us best assess who will be the right fit for our Waffle House. So if you just kind of follow this map of the DEA for course concepts and IEA for all of your evidence, and that you have all of your topic statements are good, you are going to be just fine on this project. If it helps, I would go through and I would highlight each of these pieces in your question, so you're making sure that you're not missing these points. If you have questions on it, feel free to let me know. I can answer specific questions. If you're having a hard time with your section or something and you want to just shoot it over to me, ask me if your evidence is okay or something like that, I can totally look at that. I just can't look at full projects. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help in any way I can. If you want to come on the open Zoom call tomorrow morning, totally fine. It'll be normal, just like normal. I'll be on basically from 8:30 to 10:30. You can jump on anytime you want, and we can talk about it. So let me know if you have questions. Hope you guys have a good week.